Welcome back to the kitchen. You are here with Team Mad Rational in the building with your man Twitch for Life, Author Yves. Man, look, today we just talking about some of these movies, some of these TV shows. I don't like them, but Art does. I don't know why. Let's find out, baby. So back to this Game of Thrones bit. So like what you were saying, like there's too much of the other nonsense, like the sex, the raping, the torture, and like not enough story. Like I'm an epic level dude. Like I nerd out. I like epics, right? Mm-hmm. There's only one other epic that I've never been able to like make it through, and that was Lord of the Rings, because I couldn't watch like 4 hours of like these two hobbits walk through the woods. I couldn't, and I fell asleep every time. And I have the movies, like I have them on Blu-ray, and like I can put forth effort towards them again, but it's just like those movies make me feel like I have narcolepsy, because like the moment I put them on, like it's inevitable I'm gonna fall asleep. It's happened like 10 times.
See, I get where you're coming from on Game of Thrones. 60 plus hours of that is one thing, but I hard disagree on.
Hey man, as much as I want to, like I bought them all, you know what I'm saying? Like as much as I want to, it's like my body says no.
My mind's telling me no,
but my body's telling me yes. What do you say? I don't want to hurt nobody. Oh man, that's super contradictory to fucking R. Kelly. But anyway, like, so I made it to like episode 3 of Game of Thrones, and I was like, I can't go forward anymore. Like,
oh, it's terrible. I got through the first few seasons, but only because I was watching it with somebody else who was watching it, like enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So,
but like I'm a nerd. Like I like nerd stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't appear to be nerd stuff to me. Like, so my friend was telling me, he said that people that truly like nerd out on like epics don't like Game of Thrones, but people who enjoy dramas like Game of Thrones.
Yes,
because it gives them enough nerd to where they feel like they're in the story, but it gives them all the drama they want, so they are not like shying away from it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, and I was like, that makes a lot of sense, which is why I'm having a hard time like getting into it. You know?
Well, that's kind of when you were talking about epics. There isn't a whole lot of he said, she said, who slept with whose baby mama type of drama in those types of epics. Whereas in Game of Thrones, there's not a lot of like epic story per episode. There's a few bits here and a few bits there just to give you material to start speculating what's going to happen in the next episode. I can understand where you're saying that like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones are very similar in that the author for Game of Thrones is a massive fan of Tolkien, so like he writes in the same way too. So
did you see we're getting a Tolkien movie?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Not
particularly interested.
No?
He's not really an interesting guy.
I feel like it's gonna be like the modern Shakespeare type of movie. You know what I mean? Like I think that's what they're doing with it.
It'll be a drama.
Yeah,
it'll
of
be
course.
some like love interest,
and I'm
he's
totally
more interested in his loves or something. Yeah.
I'm totally gonna watch it. You know what I mean?
I probably won't.
If they show like the inside of his head, like thinking of like Lord of the Rings, like that'd be amazing. Like to see the thought process, or see him like geek. You know what I mean? Like you know, in that time period, it'd be pretty cool. It'd be pretty cool.
Tolkien finds love, friendship, and artistic inspiration among a group of fellow outcasts.
It's a regular story, but I'm gonna watch it.
It's a regular ass story. Talking about regular ass stories, have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
I have not.
So it was so hyped up. I just saw it. It was so hyped up.
So I heard a lot of the hype about it though.
So hype.
Like I heard people were like, "Yo, this is it. Like this is the next big thing." And then I didn't hear anything else like 3 days later. So
I've seen it 15 times, just with not an all Asian cast. That's the only like thing that stands out from this.
I see what you're saying.
It's the same story.
It's the same story.
I was calling what was going to happen next the whole time. It's the girl is with the American girl is with the Chinese. Like he's not a playboy, but he's the guy that all the other girls want.
Yeah.
And she's not from China, but she's Chinese American. But that's not Chinese enough for the Chinese family, and
so it's Romeo and Juliet.
Kind of. It's I can't think of like any direct movies that it follows, but it follows so many movies. Like it's the same storyline. So like at the end, you know, spoiler alert, they
I'm not gonna watch it. It's not my thing.
The mom says no, and the girl's like, all right, I won't get in the family, but I want you to know that when he's old with whoever he does marry, it's because of me. It's because I stepped back and said, you know, he should go ahead with whatever.
It's like the mama's
and then
boy.
the mom was like, okay. But like after the girl left, and so she gives the son her ring, which signifies that it's okay for her to marry this, or him to marry this girl.
Jesus.
And so she's in the plane getting ready to go back to the States, and he follows her onto the plane, and then he's like talking all this like how you made me feel and all the things that I remember about our relationship. And then he kneels in the plane and it opens the box, and it's the mom's ring, and it's like, oh shit, happy ending. And
it's
then
the every movie.
I was calling it the whole time. I'm like, what, is he gonna catch her on the plane? Yep. And is he gonna propose right there? Oh, and is it his grandma's ring? Because that was like part of the storyline.
Yeah.
And the girl I was watching it with was like, no, it's his mom's ring. I was like, okay, there it is.
Right. What's the difference?
Yeah, it's a good movie. I won't say it's a bad movie. I'm not gonna complain about any part of the movie. Yeah. I love Ken. What's his name? Ken, the comedian.
I don't know anybody who's
Korean,
in it.
And Aquafina. You know who she is. Female rapper, music artist. Okay.
Nope. Not a clue.
Anyways, I'm a big fan of them.
Okay.
The movie was good, but it wasn't like standout-ish. The only thing that was like really standout-ish was that it was an all Asian cast, which is great. I like that. You know, representation in Hollywood. I love it. I'm for it.
Yeah.
But man, the movie was just so vanilla. It was very vanilla.
Man, speaking of representation and being standoutish. Yo, what you think about Endgame, though, my dude? Like, what's up? What's that like?
It was good.
Yeah,
it was good. It was a whole lot of story, but it worked.
Did it feel like 3 hours?
Yeah,
it did.
Yeah.
Oh man, it felt like 45 minutes for me.
I had to pee multiple times.
Oh my god,
multiple times.
Okay, so
we had beer though. Like I was drinking beer, so like.
I don't think we were drinking anything. I think we were just in there. Like we were soldiering up. Okay. Did like your theater like clap or do any of that stuff?
Yeah, all right. So it was super quiet, right? It was super quiet until your boy the
Falcon?
No, the Black Panther group came out.
Yeah.
Every black person in the theater stands up. Wakanda forever. Every black person in the theater. So, it got so loud for a second. I was like, I mean, I was hype as fuck too, but like it was exciting, but it was super quiet until that moment.
Okay, so we had a similar thing that happened in our theater because like I drove up to Atlanta just to go see this movie with my homies, right?
Right.
So when we were in the inner theater, like there was a multiple time, like this was the best group of people. There's a ton of people in there. It was the best group of people. They were quiet when they were supposed to be quiet, but they were like loud and cheering at the moments the movie gave them those opportunities to be loud and cheering. And we never missed anything, right? Like the moment Captain Marvel shows up to save Tony, spoiler alert, by the way, guys. But the moment she shows up to save Tony, like everybody's clapping. You know what I mean? I'm like, okay, that's cool, right? But at that same moment you're talking about, where like, you know, when the Wakandans came out, right? All of us on our row, like we were in it 7 deep, right? And like you see Chadwick Boseman on screen, he goes, Ibabe! And then everybody follows, Ibabe! 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 And like the entire theater for the entire chant. And then at the end of it, Wakanda forever! Like it was crazy.
That's exactly what happened in this.
It's crazy, right? And it was just bananas. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. The moment where Falcon was like, hey Steve, you hear me, Steve? On your left. I ain't gonna lie. I got a little teary-eyed. I ain't gonna lie. Like, that was the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, like, he had just strapped that shield on. He was like, you know, I could do this all day. The cap line was about to happen.
Yes.
Like, I could do this all day. Like, you know, and it was like that Star Trek Klingon attitude, like today's a good day to die.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it was there, and then your boy hit him with the on your left, and then the circle opens up, nigga. I was like, ah!
You start seeing those circles.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
it was crazy. Yeah. That moment was crazy. Like none of that fight made any sense. It was a lot of fan service.
There's a lot of fan service, man.
But I enjoyed every moment of it, though.
The female power section, and then it's but there's no point. Like, it was just there for there.
It was there because it had to be. You know what I mean?
And
like
Pepper flying, and that was like
that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
because she flew in and rescued.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
And then like when you see the look on Thanos' face when he's getting that ass bust.
Yeah.
And he was like, make it rain.
Wait, does he headbutt Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
And it's like dink.
Yep. What is that? When he had to take the soul stone off and punch her with it, like pow. Oh my God.
It was good.
It was a really good movie. I think my favorite, outside of that moment with Falcon, like my favorite moment in the entire movie is when Fat Thor shows up. I was crying.
What got me was he's sitting there looking all haggard, and then he hits himself with the lightning, and he's in his outfit, and his beard is
like braided up,
but he's still fat.
And he's in the ponytail, like the ponytail.
No, you get the small one.
Yeah, I like this one. So, like, what do you foresee next for the Marvel Universe? Because, like, we don't know at this point. Like, we know a couple things. Like,
well, all right. So there's Black Panther 2. There's Doctor Strange 2.
Right. Yeah, we know those are coming.
But like outside of that, I want to see the Static Shock. I want to see.
Wait, that's DC.
Is that DC?
That's DC.
I'm thinking Teen
Titans is DC.
Not Teen Titans. Marvel. Teen Adventures.
Oh, so
that's what I'm thinking of.
I don't know if they're gonna call it Teen Avengers. I think they're gonna call it like. Doesn't that fall into like Secret Wars?
I don't remember. But they said they're setting it up.
Yeah, they are.
Because I mean, you got Spider-Man. You've got Black Panther's sister. What's her name?
I can't remember.
You've got Hawkeye's daughter.
The daughter that he calls Hawkeye.
Yeah.
In the movie. Yeah.
Yeah. You got. There's three other.
We've got Morgan, because like in the comics, I believe Morgan dons a suit.
Who's Morgan?
Tony's daughter.
Oh, but she's super young.
She is. However,
they'll do something. Yeah.
You know,
for sure. And then they've got Ant-Man's daughter, who was a teen at the end. Right. So,
and she could do the Wasp.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So I mean they've got it set up right now for that.
Yeah.
I think that's the move. That's the move.
So I'm excited to see what they do with Spider-Man: Homecoming, because that's supposed to be like the epilogue of Phase 2, or Phase 1, right? It's supposed to kind of wrap up that 5-year period where we don't know what transpired. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to be able to, kind of put that story together. Mm. I have a couple fan theories of my own, though.
Okay.
Like, and theory, like one of them has to do with Black Widow. One of them has to do with Nick Fury, right?
Okay.
All right. So fan theory number one, the end of Endgame, Black Widow is actually alive, right? She's alive on Vorgath or whatever that planet is, right? And the reason I think that is because nobody actually knew she was there. It's like nobody that could go get her knew she was there.
What?
Like nobody that could go and retrieve her quickly knew she was there. Doctor Strange didn't know she was there, and Captain Marvel didn't know she was there. So they couldn't have gone and got her. Right? Because Doctor Strange portaled everybody in from all the places he knew people were. Right. Earth, and then...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You see what I mean? So, like, and then at the end, when Bruce is like, or Professor Hulk, I should say, was like, hey, right. He's like, I tried to bring her back. Yeah. Right? I think that was like a hint towards, she's alive. However, here's the catch, right? She's alive, but she's inside the soul realm.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna say some Skullface stuff. I was like, all right, I'm into it. I'm into it.
The reason I say that is because that is a lead to Adam Warlock.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, because Adam Warlock has to go inside of the soul realm to retrieve, I believe, himself. Really. Yeah. So like that's where I'm at. I'm thinking her and Gamora are both there.
Gamora.
Yeah.
She's already out. Oh, you're talking about like future Gamora.
Future. Yeah, exactly.
That'd be confusing.
It would be.
All right, so I'm not with you on the Gamora bit, just because she was actually sacrificed. But Black Widow was never sacrificed. She threw herself in there. And
But it's
part
still
of what the whole Skullface thing was that he what did he do? How did he get trapped there? It was something to do with he was trying to get the Soul Stone, but his sacrifice also jumped in willingly, and so it wasn't a sacrifice by the hands of whoever.
You're
so
right.
I think that's what.
You're right. That makes sense.
I think that's where like the loophole is for Black Widow.
Right. So she could be in that area just trapped.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So that's fan theory number one.
Okay.
Are So fan theory number two, and these are my own theories. I just kind of thought of these. Right. I didn't read them anywhere. I don't know if anybody else follows them. So if you follow them, cool. You know what I'm saying? But throw your boy in there.
You ain't shit.
Okay. So this one's going to be a little bit confusing, and I still haven't worked out all the kinks of it. So ask me some questions. I'll answer them as I can.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna blow some holes through it.
Okay, cool,
Right,
cool.
Okay.
All right. So here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking when Steve goes back in time, right?
Yep.
In order to, and really he doesn't go back in time; he goes forward in time based on the physics of the movie.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes in time to put the Soul Stones back. Right. In their rightful place. He decides
And Thor's hammer.
And Thor's hammer.
Okay.
Right. That's another theory.
Okay.
Anyway, so he goes back. He decides to stay in the past.
Yep.
They do show the scene with him dancing with Peggy.
Right.
But I don't think he married Peggy.
I also don't think that.
Right. I think he married somebody completely different because, number one, it's Disney. And Disney wouldn't allow some incest shit happening. Remember, he kissed Peggy's, what was it, her granddaughter?
I didn't know. I don't watch all the
so
Winter Warrior movie. Or
so in Winter Soldier, like it's kind of just a little fling, like a side fling, and he kissed her, right? And she's Peggy's like granddaughter. He finds out, right? Which is okay because but at that point, all we knew is he was trapped in the ice for 40 years, and Peggy married somebody else.
Right.
Boom. Right. That's perfectly fine.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of weird, but it's perfectly fine. Right. But I don't think Disney would allow us to go back and think like, oh shit, some incest shit happened on screen, right?
Yeah.
Right. So when Falcon asked him, hey, you want to tell me about the girl? He was like, no. Right. Because I think, number one, he played a major part in creating S.H.I.E.L.D., right? From the shadows. And I believe that he probably gave Nick Fury all the information that he knows. And that's why Nick Fury is just this mountain of information. Right.
Okay.
And this would have happened after Nick Fury met Captain Marvel.
Right.
And he would have been like, boom, here's all this shit you need to know in order to make sure everybody is saved so that everything happens the way it's supposed to.
Okay. I'm with it.
Right. Because like Nick Fury's a super spy. But like, where is he getting his information?
Right.
And he doesn't have that many agents that know what he knows. There's like 2 other agents that know what he knows. Right. There's Maria Hill and then there's Phil Coulson. Right. And they don't even know everything. You know what I'm saying?
No, I have no idea.
Okay.
But I'm gonna nod my head.
Maria Hill was played by Kobe Smothers.
Right.
Okay. Smothers.
Yeah.
And then but like that's where Nick Fury gets the technology, like the knowledge for the technology for the Fury bots. You know what I mean? All the androids he has. But like in my mind, like that makes sense. Like how Nick Fury gets all this information.
Yeah.
Right. And gets the name Avengers. So.
Ooh. That's some paradox.
Right.
Paradox shit. Okay.
Right.
I'm with it.
The other thing that makes sense about it is by the time Cap is out the ice, Cap is already an old man.
Right. 70 years.
Right.
Yep.
He's already an old man. He's already out of the game, and so they don't truly exist in the same period.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like the bulk of them don't truly
as
exist.
The same. Yeah.
You know, and he probably never caps again when he goes back.
Well, that's what I thought. Like once he returns everything, he goes straight mundane mode.
Yeah. You know, just like he said, he took the advice. He got him a life.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking, if they didn't need Cap all that time, they didn't need Cap all that time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Thor's hammer.
Okay.
So there's 2 things that have to happen with Thor's hammer, right? It has to be destroyed, but then it has to get to Jane Foster at some point. In Thor: Dark World, she absorbs the power of the which stone? The reality stone. Okay, inside of her body. But they didn't call it the reality stone then. They just called it the something. I can't remember what it was, like the fate or something like that, or the
Tesseract.
No. It was red.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So she got that absorbed into her body. Now, what I'm thinking is because Jane Foster's got cancer in the comics, thinking like her absorbing that into her body gives her the disease. The hammer prolongs her life but kills her at the same time. Right? It prolongs her life because it keeps her healthy, but it doesn't kill the cancer because the cancer is like natural.
Yeah.
Right? But it kills the radiation that's trying to kill the cancer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's like alive but dying at the same time kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So we have to figure out how the hammer survives but doesn't survive. Like,
but doesn't the hammer get destroyed afterwards?
It gets destroyed in Ragnarok. Right. But going forward, she does don the hammer. Like Mjolnir is like, if you look up like who the weapon belongs to, it belongs to Thor and Jane Foster.
You're talking about outside of the MCU.
Oh, outside of the MCU.
I see what you're saying.
Once again,
Okay.
theories, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm thinking like we get like, I don't know how that jump happens, if Cap holds on to it, or I don't know. You know,
I would simplify that and just say that Cap gives it to whomever has it in the beginning of Dark World, and that's just where it like hangs out. Because there's big moments there where Thor doesn't have it.
Well, the other part that we don't know is what happened to Loki with the Tesseract.
What do you mean?
So Loki dipped out with the Tesseract.
Yeah.
They went back in time to get the Tesseract.
Right.
Loki dipped out forward.
Right. Didn't he have that in the movie though?
Yeah, he did. But however, remember what the Ancient One said, that if you take the stone outside of where it's supposed to be, you create a dark strand.
No, I didn't in the story Loki run away with the Tesseract.
That's what I'm saying. No.
In the original. Oh.
No, he didn't.
So
I thought that too.
Divergence.
And I had to go back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's one of the diversions. And so we don't know what's going on with Loki, and we don't know how that's affected that line of time.
Yeah.
Which is a paradox because it goes against their physics in the movie, but it goes kind of with the physics we would think would happen, where it changes the timeline. Yeah. Confusing.
Well, I guess it wouldn't change the future because it's a different timeline. So it would just.
But they said there's no such thing as multiple universes.
There's not multiple universes, but there's multiple timelines. That's why she pointed that other strand that went off this way. That's just a different version of the same universe.
Wouldn't that be a second universe?
Technically, but also no, because in that universe, only one of those exists.
Only one what?
Of that version of the universe exists.
Right.
So that's what they were talking about, as opposed to like most time movies.
Yeah.
When you go back into the past, you're looking at a new future.
Right. You can't change the timeline that you're on.
Right.
But you can create another one.
Yes.
So if you create another timeline and it exists at the same time that timeline is, then you have a multiverse. Because you can move back and forth between those timelines theoretically.
Well, I think that's once you're on that new track, there you can't go back to the first track.
Well, I'm not saying go back. I'm saying lateral.
Right. Well, you can't. I think that's the idea, is that they're completely separate.
But if you can create one, well then Loki no longer exists.
Right. Well, his original self, the one that died in the beginning of Ragnarok,
right,
died. Quotes.
See, this is why we need Spider-Man: Homecoming, because I think like we're gonna get some of this science right re-explained. And maybe like Peter Parker will kind of mature into that scientist that we need.
That's putting a lot on Peter Parker's back.
I know, but we also need an event to enter Reed Richards, because we need Reed Richards at this point in the Marvel universe. We don't need the Fantastic Four. God forbid we get the Fantastic Four again.
I'm down with the Fantastic Four, but on the side, not like a whole episode, not a whole.
We don't need a movie.
For them. No.
They need to. They can cameo.
Yes,
they can cameo.
100%. Like that's the same thing I'm thinking with like X-Men. Like now they're working X-Men into the MCU. I'm okay with that. I just don't want like a whole X-Men movie.
I don't. Like this
I'm
Dark
okay.
Phoenix looks trash.
It looks trash. I'm okay with it though, because I
Yeah.
feel like that's where they're gonna lateral it back into the universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want another X-Men movie. No.
Yeah, I'm good on.
I'm with them like being present and
Right.
other.
Kind of like Deadpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they just kind of cameoed in.
See, now that's I was just disappointed. I was looking for some Deadpool in this movie,
I wasn't, because he doesn't enter the Avengers line yet.
but he doesn't need to. Like he just happens to be there.
But yeah, in his own movies or in movies that like align with that, but we haven't seen any MCU characters ever enter Deadpool.
No.
You know what I mean? And I don't think Endgame was the right place.
Here's why I disagree.
Okay, go ahead.
Because his story is so closely intertwined with Thanos's. Thanos is doing everything he does because he loves Death. Death doesn't love him. She loves Deadpool. That was their whole like. So
Okay, in the original
Thanos
comics,
is right.
But because we haven't talked about Death,
Yeah.
Okay,
So there's, I mean, obviously this is we're swapping off of MCU,
Gotcha,
but I
gotcha.
thought this would be the best place just to have him pop into the episode, into the movie, just somewhere, just happen to be walking past and doing something like break the third wall, look at you in the screen, and then walk away. Just something real quick. Or
I can see that.
in every MCU movie from now on, he takes the place of Stanley.
You know what? They had a perfect place to put him in, and you're right. And the perfect place was when the Rock dude was sitting down playing video games.
Yes. Yes. Just happened to be sitting there on the couch.
Yeah, like that was the perfect place. Yeah, you're right. Okay, I get it. I see it.
But I do think it would be cool if they replaced Stan Lee's cameos with Deadpool. He just happens to be there.
That'd be genius.
Yeah.
That'd be genius. That would be. I do. Okay, the movie I want that I don't think we're ever gonna get, but I really want. I want a Doom movie. I want a Doom. Okay, follow me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doom, like Chronicles of Latveria, right? Because Latveria is his own thing, and Doom is his own thing, right? Because the way they told Doom in the Final Fantasy, like the original Final Fantasy movie, was not how Doom comes about.
Wait.
Like he doesn't get
Fantastic Four?
Oh my God.
I was like, wait, you lost me.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Fantastic Four, my bad. I said Final Fantasy. Golly. But in the original like Fantastic Four movie,
Right.
That's not how Doom comes about.
Right.
So Doom is not like cosmic out like the Fantastic Four, right?
Trash that whole Fantastic Four anyway.
Yeah. So anybody
Keep the actor though, because I liked him as an actor.
he was good.
He was good.
He was good. Okay. You know what would be a really good Doom though? Ben Kingsley.
Fuck. He'd be good at everything though.
He is. He's yeah. And they wasted him. They wasted him on Mandarin. They just wasted him. And I'm mad about it. I'm always going to be mad about Iron Man 3 being just ugh.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 and Age of Ultron were the two. Well, Iron Man 3, Thor, Dark World, and Age of Ultron were the eyesores for me.
Didn't see any of those. Or Winter
Soldier. That one's really good though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good. But if I can get a Doomsday movie, because what that does is it gives us another nation, and then it shows Doom in the correct light. Because like Doom's not like
he's Doctor Doom?
Doctor Doom, yeah.
Okay.
But like, because Doom's not like evil, he's just an anti-hero.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because once he acquires like Latveria, he really just wants his country to be recognized.
Yeah.
Right. And he wants to rule over his country. But then people keep interfering with that shit. And that's why he pops off.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if we can get a Doom movie, because Doom is far more interesting than the Fantastic Four.
For sure.
Right. Then we can enter Reed Richards, because we don't need Reed Richards for Mr. Fantastic. We need Reed Richards because we need a scientist that understands like what is it, nanites, cosmic radiation, time travel. We need somebody on that level of intelligence like Tony Stark, right? Because we don't have Tony anymore, so we need a mind.
Whoa.
What?
Spoilers, man.
I'm killing them. I'm killing the spoilers.
Killing the spoilers.
Killing the spoilers.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Hey, look, if you haven't seen the movie 4 weeks away, like, I'm sorry.
Fair.
So but that's my theory. Like, that's why I believe we need a Doctor Doom movie. Right.
I'm with it.
Yeah. The other missing link I see in this whole idea, I think they said we're gonna get him, but I really want to see him on screen. Is Beta Ray Bill.
I don't see that happening.
No, I think Marvel already said they're gonna put him in.
Yeah, he was saying, like, if you can't do it right, do it later. Isn't that what the director was talking about? Yeah, but because they didn't like officially announce it, but they did like mention that Bill was going to be in there, and I think that's to settle the story, the weapon story. Yeah,
for Stormbreaker.
Well, he was supposed to be in Ragnarok. He was supposed to be in Ragnarok,
right? And they couldn't do it right.
I don't know if they'd do that.
Well, I mean,
it'd be cool, but then there isn't enough story. Like, it would be one of those. He's just like a side character, like Whiplash was just kind of like thrown into the Iron Man 2.
Okay, you're right. However, he's got a really cool origin story.
Yeah,
his whole origin story is like movie worthy. It is, and the only reason I say it is because in the origin story, in the comic book version, right, he proves himself by fighting with Thor. And he picks up Mjolnir and whoops Thor with it, right? And Thor's like, hold on, I'm supposed to be the only person that's worthy of picking the hammer up, right? And then Odin makes him his own weapon to protect his people,
right?
And that's a really cool story, which then leads into the most silly thing that Marvel's ever done, but I love it, and I love every part of it, which is like Thor Force. Yeah, it's super silly, but it's like you've got.
But so your whole origin story, though, is blown apart now.
Why?
Because Mjolnir's destroyed, Odin's dead.
I know. But
it'd be cool. I like where your head's at.
Yeah.
I think there's just not enough crossover with the other characters. I think he crosses over with
he can cross over with Guardians perfectly.
Guardians. I was gonna say that's the only other place he would like cross over.
But that's where I think they were talking about putting him, was in the next Guardian movie. And had like cameo it in, hand over to Stormbreaker.
See, that'd be. Wait, hand over to Stormbreaker though.
Yeah, from Chris. Because technically, the Guardians movie is his last movie in his contract. He's down to play more Thor.
Yeah.
Like, cause Chris Hemsworth was excited that James Gunn was coming back, right? And he's like, "Yo, I'm down to play Thor if he's directing."
Yeah,
right. But the other thing is, like, all his other movies have flopped.
Yeah,
right. And so Thor is a successful brand and franchise. So he's like, "I'll sign another contract. Let's go." Right.
Yeah.
But he's only got one more in his contract right now.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen since he's willing to play Thor. You know.
Again, it'd be. I see him at most being like a cameo, like somebody just to pop in and be part of the storyline, but not be the storyline.
Or Thor?
Beta Ray Bill.
Oh yeah, no.
For sure.
Yeah. I'm not saying he deserves a place in the Avengers table. I'm just saying I would like to see him in a film.
He was never in the Avengers. He was in the Canadian version, whatever. What were they called?
I don't remember. But that's not what I was saying. I was just saying, like, I would like to see him on film, see how they depict him on screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I would like to see it. I love talking about TV shows and movies because it gives me an opportunity to really have the conversation about the things I geek out about, nerd out about. You know what I'm saying? Like, the things that be in my head. You know what I mean? When you be in your house by yourself and you be looking at this stuff, you ain't nobody talk to you. Be like, right? You can't theory craft or nothing like that. So, I appreciate that. So, if you guys appreciate having those conversations and want to join in to the conversation, maybe theory craft a little bit, maybe throw a couple of fan theories about what you think is going to happen and some of the things we discussed, drop a line, drop a comment in, you know what I'm saying? Hit us up. You know what I'm saying? What submit at maddrational.com, info at maddrational.com. You know what I mean? Whichever one. It don't matter. We get them all. It don't matter. Shoot. But as always, appreciate you tuning in and signing on to our podcast, The Kitchen here. Yo, you get a chance, drop us a line with a 5-star review on iTunes. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. make sure you hit the notification button so you get the notification. You know what I'm saying? Deuces. We out.